What up, potty people, and welcome back to Clipped. I'm Eric, your host. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite podcast accessories, in addition to a mic, and however you're going to record. To really pull off a good podcast, you've got to have a few accessories in my mind, and these things are going to help you with your workflow and just ease the overall production. You never know when you might need something. These things are great to help you with your workflow, help you with production, help you with your setup. Because I feel like so many times I'm at my desk and I'm the type of person that I want everything within an arm's reach, like my hard drive, my monitor, my keyboard, my thumb drives, my microphones, everything. I hate having all this shit on my desk, and it's hard to navigate. Even with this, I'm trying to find the best room in my place for video. And we just had a daughter, my wife and I. And so she took over my studio, which was the extra bedroom. And so I'm backed up against this wall because facing the other way, you're going to see her crib. And I thought that this would be just a little bit better setup. Just having things like the ease of having things where you need them, having all the little parts and pieces and gear, just little things that make our lives easier. And the first one is this boom arm. This is made by Rode, R-O-D-E. And I think you need some kind of boom arm or desktop mic stand because you want to be hands-free. Like right now, I can go on my computer and look at my notes. If I was having a conversation with someone, and I needed to look at my interview questions, you want to be hands-free, whether you use a computer in that sense or you're looking down, scribbling notes. This thing is great for that. It swivels 360. It clamps on to a pretty thick desk. My desk is pretty thick. It has a little spinning locking mechanism, and you can tighten that up into your desk. I definitely recommend getting this or something like this. There's other ones on the market. Rode is just a trusted brand in the podcast space. And it allows you to move around. If you're watching the video right now, if you're on YouTube, I can move it with me and it doesn't make noise. That's kind of the main thing. It spins 360 and it doesn't make noise. And so, sometimes I see Joe Rogan, he's got his arm on his. He has a different model of boom arm, but yeah, you can swivel it around. And so, I don't know, if you lean in to grab your coffee or whatever it is, great accessory. Get yourself a hands-free microphone arm or stand. Next, potty people, is the Cloudlifter. What a Cloudlifter is, let's see, I'm getting it focused here. A Cloudlifter is essentially like a microphone amp, a preamp. And what it does is it boosts your signal and it gives you 25 decibels of clean gain. That's going to help you sound more crisp. That's going to make your $100 microphone sound like a $300 microphone because you're going to get that clean boost. You're going to be able to get those healthy recording levels without inducing noise into the recording. When you're podcasting, if you're doing things right, you're using a dynamic microphone such as this. This is the Shure SM58. But dynamic microphones take a lot of gain to power them, to get them up to the point where you can get that healthy level. And oftentimes, depending on whatever your mic is plugged in, if it's not the most expensive piece of gear, sometimes cranking it to get that level you want induces hiss and kind of some static noise into the recording. And obviously you don't want that. You want to get the cleanest signal possible. And the Cloudlifter is going to help you achieve it. How it works is you're going to take your XLR cable. One end is going to go into the microphone. The other end is going to connect into the Cloudlifter. Then you're going to take another cable coming out of the Cloudlifter and plugging into your audio interface, or if you're using a Zoom H6 recorder or some kind of digital recorder. And essentially, it instead of just going into the recorder or into the audio interface, it goes into the Cloudlifter first, and you get that boost. You get that nice fat signal. It's going to sound like you're like a professional broadcaster. Then that goes in to the recording device, and boom. The next accessory that I recommend for all podcasters is simple. It's a USB hub. This is by Sobrent, and I'm going to link to all these in the show notes, guys. It's got 4 ports. And, as a podcaster, as some kind of digital creator, you're always plugging shit in, whether you got lights, microphones, hard drives, whatever you have. It's likely going to require more ports than your computer has. So I definitely recommend getting a USB port. And this one by Sobrent is great because it's bus powered. So there are some that you actually have to plug like into the wall into AC power to power up. But this, you're going to plug one end into your computer. This is USB-C. I will put a link to adapters for USB-A. That's like for the newer computers. But regardless, it's going to give you 4 inputs. And so you're not going to run out of space. You're going to be able to plug in all your gadgets. Next is a windscreen. So this right here, you can hear it. I'm scratching the mic. If you're not watching, if you're just listening to this is going to help with popped peas. So please don't pop your peas. It just kind of absorbs some of that air. It also, if you're like a loud breather, it'll absorb some of that. I don't like the idea of having a pop filter. You've probably seen a pop filter. It's like this round mesh circle that goes around the mic. For me, that's overkill for podcasting. And so a windscreen is going to be great. They come in different shapes and sizes. So depending on the model of your microphone, you can determine which one to buy. But another tip to also help with the popped peas is to put the mic a little bit sideways. So you're slightly off axis. So some of that pushed air from the pea is not going directly into the capsule. It's kind of hitting it on the side. And sorry, I keep bumping this. Maybe this isn't as, maybe this is more noisy than I thought. In any case, you're going to want one of these. It's going to help you. It's going to make your post-production, your editing easier because you're not having to worry about all those pop peas. Obviously, it's not 100% foolproof, but it's going to take care of a lot of the work for you. Okay, next, as I pull out my little, let's call it a Christmas basket. I'm going to pull out my little Christmas basket. Manfrotto. These little tripods kick ass. So they fold up. These legs are about 5-6 inches. I think it's great to have one of these in your bag just because you can mount a light on here. You can put a mic clip on here. I've often been traveling to doing Zooms or even recording this podcast, and I'll just set it up on my desk. And yeah, it just comes in handy for anything that you might want to get up off the ground. I have a Zoom H6. I have a couple digital recorders. They're great for that as well. If I'm recording some sound design stuff, I'll use that. I'll put it, boom, on the tripod real quick. Super compact, lightweight. And Manfrotto is the brand. There's a lot of these online. That could be backwards in the camera. Let's see. But in any case, Joby, Joby, they make great ones as well. So definitely recommend you have something like this, just as backup to help you lift things off the ground, off your desk, whether it's lighting, microphones, recorders, etc. And last but not least is an external hard drive. The brand that I recommend is Lacie, Lacie. I've used this for a couple years. It hasn't crashed on me. When you're podcasting or if you're some kind of creator, you know that your files are going to start to build up. And I think, in my opinion, and how I've been taught and how I've done things over the last decade, you don't want to record directly onto your computer's hard drive. You want to record onto an external hard drive. You probably even need 2 of these because then you're going to want to back this up. Yeah, it's just going to help you with space. If you're constantly doing things, your computer hard drive will fill up fast. And this is a great way just to offload that extra storage. I put a piece of black gaff tape on mine. Don't mind that. There's actually Velcro on the back. This is also a cool tool. If you need to Velcro it down, I have some Velcro on my desk. I used to have Velcro on the back of my laptop, and I would literally Velcro it on to the laptop. This would help when I would work at a coffee shop or something, and it's less shit on the table. It's connected up to the back of the laptop. First, I put a hard shell case on the laptop, and then I would Velcro it onto there. That's a little tip and trick for what to do with these. But definitely grab yourself a hard drive. Thank you guys for listening. Hope some of these got the wheels turning in your head. Different accessories that can help make your workflow easier, that can help make your setup smoother, look better. Just feel like you have everything that you might need. Because as podcasters, I feel like there's always something that you're thinking about that you could need, and one day it's going to happen and you're going to wish you had the boom arm, or you're out of space. You're going to wish you had the hard drive, or you went to record and you realize you don't have enough USB ports. Get yourself a USB hub. And if you're liking my content, loving my content, head on over to thepodcasthaven.com/blog. I'm putting out a lot of great articles about microphones, how to use music in your podcast, different resources on podcast marketing, podcast growth, podcast monetization. I would love for you guys to check that out and check out everything else on the blog. That's thepodcasthaven.com/blog. And I will be back next week with my buddy Nick. He's an expert in podcast launches. So if you want more info about how to launch a podcast and what goes into that, Nick's your man. And I think you're going to enjoy that episode with him. So check me out next week.